Hello, everyone. Pastor George here. I hope you're all having a penitential Good Friday today. And we are going to finish up our little talk about movies and how what some of my favorites are that talk about faith, with one that I'm sure you could have guessed that I'm going to use for today, and one that I still think is important for many Christians to see, and even people who aren't Christian, which is Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. Now, this is a movie I've maybe seen 2 or 3 times. I saw it once when I was in late middle school with my church, and that was soon after the movie came out. And then I saw it twice in college, I believe. I may have watched it once during high school, though. I can't remember. And when this movie came out, it caused a lot of controversy. You may or may not remember all the controversy that kind of surrounded it. Some of it, good critique. A lot of it, mediocre critique, whatever. But this movie, despite all of that, has still served as a touchstone for many people who are Christian. People who may not even darken the doorstep of a church know this movie and have seen it, and it means something to them. Doesn't mean it for everyone, just for many people. And I think the reason that is because it so viscerally portrays the death of Christ in a way that no one had ever really seen before. We have the art and we have the stories in the Gospels, but there's something about the modern effects that we can do now with movies and the idea of a movie itself, seeing things moving. It looks a lot like real life. And the detail that they went into with people speaking Greek and Aramaic and Latin. And it just goes to show that they did a lot of their research pretty well. I know for a fact that they got a lot of biblical scholars, especially scholars of languages, to help out on this movie. And one of the things that I think is always important to think about, and why it's usually important to watch this movie around this time of year, is just how terrible death by crucifixion was, and especially the thing that surrounded Christ's death. With the torture and the beatings and the humiliation that he did not deserve to experience, right? This is the cornerstone, one of the cornerstones of our faith, that Jesus was a perfect man. He was God in flesh, and he didn't deserve to die, but he did. And he went through all of that, not because he wanted to do it for fun, but because he loved us so much that he gave himself up for us. He took all of the sin that we deserved and took it upon himself. And when you see the reality of that sin, the reality of how much that hurts, how much that could cost, it really becomes much deeper to you. So I encourage you, if you haven't seen this movie, to check it out. It's not a pretty movie. It's not a fun movie, but it is a movie that I think is worth seeing. And one that, despite how brutal it is during it, does end on a happy note, right? As every Good Friday should end. But I just encourage you to think about these things. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday for Easter and tonight for our Good Friday service. So I will see you here on the YouTube channel then. Stay safe and stay healthy, and have a blessed Good Friday.